Hey, this is Jay Skinner, and you are in the Buyers and Sellers pre-show. Let's play some music while everybody gets on board. I'm going to take a sentimental journey. This one is really a sentimental journey today. I'm going to set your heart at ease. I'm going to make a sentimental journey to renew old memories. I got my bag, I got my reservations. I spend each dime I could afford. I'm gonna take that sentimental journey. Can't wait to hear that. All aboard. Hey everybody, this is the pre-show. I'm Jay Skinner, and you're here with me every Friday morning. So we just wait for everybody to get on. Today is the day that Dr. Tony Alessandra is going to be with us. And that is a sentimental journey for me because, figuring out, we've known each other since a little bit after his first book came out in 1979, and that put us about 1980. And he was always available, and that was before email. I think I got on the phone and said, "Hi, my name is," and I read your book. Let's be friends. And he was there for me. All these years, we've stayed in touch. And a lot of you probably know him too. Think about non-manipulative selling techniques, the platinum rule. And we're live. That's right, everybody. It's 10:35 on Friday morning, and you're live on the Buyers and Sellers Show. I'm Jay Skinner, and I'm so happy you came today. Today, we're going to have my friend, and he's back in the green room, and many of you have already logged in, accepted invitations, and from LinkedIn and everything that we're going to have Dr. Tony Alessandra with us. And the title of this show is People Buy and Sell with People They Like and Make Fast Friends. So I don't want to take any more time. I want to bring Tony out right now. Come on up, Tony. Dr. Tony Alessandra.
Thank you. And welcome, everybody. I appreciate being here.
Oh, man, we've already got people getting on board and saying things. And let's see who we got here. There's Mario Herfy says, "Good, glorious morning, Jay and crew. Great playing, by the way." Thank you, Mario. Glad you enjoyed it. Let's see who else is. Gregory Sneed. Hey, he's a California guy. He's in LA. And by the way, Tony's in San Diego. I mean, you guys are all over there on the left coast having fun, getting the sunshine. And I love it. And it was a couple of years ago, Tony, you and I had lunch together in San Diego. Gosh, yeah. Look at there was. I'm going to see if I've got that picture by chance. There we go, and there we are. Look at that. You were sporting a beard back then.
Oh my gosh, yes. Holy
Look at that. And it's like I said, I'm taking a vacation, going to California, and I'm going to meet my mentor and friend and a guy that really helped change my life. So thank you, Tony. That was great.
My pleasure.
Gosh, look at all these comments. You are one popular guy, Tony. Look at this. Here, let's see. Okay, let's see. Tanner Kirby's. Hey, says, "Hi, Jay. What a wonderful day today with you on every Friday. Thanks for Dr. Tony." And he's in Turkey. Tanner,
wow.
Thank you. Let's see. Tim Sullivan. See. Oh, hey, he's a fan. He says, "Hello from Bel Air, Texas. Houston, I love the selling techniques from Dr. Tony."
Thanks, Tim.
That is great. And let's see what else we got here. Mark Gassert, "Sentimental Journey. The music was written by Les Brown." That is right. And his band
that's not Les Brown, the speaker. That's Les Brown, the musician.
Yes, Les Brown, the musician, and his band of renown. I think they called it back then.
That's exactly right.
Oh my gosh. Let's see who else we've got here. Kodzo Agor, "I'm from Accra, Ghana. Great to join you. Welcome." That if I love West Africa, Uh, I hang out in Liberia and work out over there. I love it, and I'm glad you are here, Kadzo. Thanks for coming. And let's see who else we got. Eli Skinner. That's my son, Eli. He says, excited. I've learned a lot from you. My dad passed it right along. And
Hey,
that's
Eli, how you doing? Thanks for coming in here.
Oh, Doug Wing. Hey, Doug. This is fun. I hope you're enjoying this. But when Doug Wing, he's one of the former owners of the Little Giant Ladder Company. His dad,
Mm,
Hal Wing, founded it, and Doug's a good friend. And uh, Doug, so glad you're here. You're gonna love hearing from Tony. So let me. I'm going to set things up a little bit here, Tony, so that everybody knows exactly who they're talking to. One is, you all know me talking about the silver rule and the green rule, what I made up. Well, the idea of making rules came from Tony Alessandra. He did the platinum rule, and I'm always talking about it, where we're supposed to do unto others as they want done unto you, unto them. And he wrote a book that's huge. Then everybody knows how to get in touch with me, but here's the important part. Tony is the founder and chairman of Assessments 24/7, and it's a company that offers a variety of online assessments, including the widely used DISC profile, the Higher Sense employee selection tool, and more. And well, I'm just going to keep going because I am so proud to be with Tony, and I want everyone to understand the depth of this man. 32 books translated into over 50 foreign language editions from his first book in 1979, which was Non-Manipulative Selling. Look at that. Mine's all dog-eared in there. This is it. It's come in some different versions, but this book changed my life, my selling life in 1980, 1981. Then he's got a new one, most recent one called What Makes Humans Tick. And look it up, you guys. It's beautiful. And it's got what a picture. Let me show you what the book looks like. Boom. There you go.
that's it.
That is cool. And so we want everybody to look that one up too. Let's see what else I've got here. Go on. Now, non-manipulative selling in his original 4-quadrant grid that was the precursor to his disc work, with a horizontal, assertive, and a vertical responsive axis, horizontal, assertive, and vertical responsive, with the greatest at the top and to the right. That was what I learned. And I'm going to push that out here so everybody can see. There's the axis right there that really I learned, where we got up to the top, responsiveness, bottom, low responsiveness, assertiveness, and then we had expressives, amiables, analytics, and driving styles. And I've superimposed the DISC so people can understand that we're talking about the same thing.
Same thing. And this graphic, Jay, is from the original 1979 non-manipulative selling book.
Yes,
so
it is.
we refined it over the years. We don't use those terms anymore: expressive, driving, analytical, amiable. We actually changed those to director, thinker, relator, and socializer, and then eventually to DISC, which is what you're seeing on the screen now.
There you go.
And
well,
yeah,
but Tony,
yeah,
I'm such a visual.
yeah,
I needed this. This is from 1979 too.
yes, it is.
I needed these quadrants. I walk into a customer, and between the word learning that you gave me and the quadrant and these pictures, I was able to figure out who I was talking to, and then use the behavioral flexibility to establish rapport very quickly and get to the point. And my sales went up astronomically as
Yeah,
a
bring
result.
that back up, Jay, because I want to. Each one has a little saying. So the driver, or the D style, is do it now. The I style, the expressive here, is why not. The S style is the amiable or the steady style. My office is your office. All right, very inviting, very people oriented. And the C style, the conscientious analytic style, is put it in writing. So these are some tips on how to adapt to these individuals.
Yes. So because you're here, and it's like we have to avoid reminiscing and all the fun stuff that can happen so much on these shows, because I really wanted you to be able to deliver something that would change some lives right here, right now, today. And I've got some lives on the line. Let's catch them, and then we're going to go into a question that will get things going. Ron Goodwin, good morning. Ron's a businessman, owns a shirt store at a store that does customized graphics on clothing, and he's a really successful guy, and I'm proud to be his friend. Let's see what else we got here. Greg Sneed says probably the heart. And then we've got Mario says, have you all heard of the book by the name The Road Less Stupid by Keith Cunningham? Good question. Is that that's new to me?
It is to me too.
There we go.
Look it
And
up.
Greg says, I didn't recognize the name right away, but I've read his books ages ago. Bravo. There you go. Now you know who Dr. Tony is. So, Dr. Tony, I'm going to ask you a question, and then if by the end of this session, some of these people have the idea on how to establish rapport with people and get things done more quickly and have the behavioral flexibility to establish that rapport and get things done like you teach, I did my job. And here's the question. There we go. How and when did you get involved in the 4-style model?
Okay, so let's go all the way back, Jay, to 1974. 1974, I was in Atlanta. I was at Georgia State University getting my PhD. I had just finished all my coursework and now was digging into my doctoral dissertation. And the dissertation title was Buyer-Seller Similarity as a Determinant of Success in Sales. So it was that whole concept of buyer-seller similarity. And I think it was probably the fourth quarter of 74. I went to a little private session in somebody's house, a guy named Bill Schwartz. And he was presenting something from Larry Wilson called Social Style Sales Strategies, which was basically social styles. And as soon as I saw that, it was like love at first sight. I said, this is what I want to do. I went back to my doctoral dissertation chairman, who, by the way, was Dr. David Schwartz, the author of the multi-million best-selling book, The Magic of Thinking Big.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So I went back to Dr. Schwartz, and my dissertation was based around buyer-seller similarity. It was demographics. And I said, you know what, I want to change this, and I want to do it with psychographics about the behavioral styles. And his answer to me was absolutely not. He said, you know, your dissertation proposal was accepted on demographics. Finish it, get out of here. And then if you really want to focus on these 4 styles, do it once you have your PhD, which was incredibly good advice. So I finished my dissertation, but in the meantime, from 74 until I finished my doctoral dissertation and got my PhD in June of 76, I started speaking on the 4 styles and on something that eventually became my first book, Non-Manipulative Selling. Now, keep in mind, Jay, that I worked my way through college. I went to the University of Notre Dame and then got my undergraduate degree in University of Connecticut, my MBA. And I worked my way through school selling. That's how I paid my tuition. My parents didn't have the money. I was selling cookware, pots and pans, door to door from 1966 to 1968. And by the way, here's another interesting little side note. The same time I was selling cookware in New Jersey, the Jersey Shore, another person was selling cookware in Texas, a person that many of you may know. Who was it, Jay?
Zig Ziglar.
You got it. So
right.
He was selling cookware in Texas. I was selling cookware in New Jersey. He was a bit older than me. I was just, you know, in my late teens and early 20s. But anyway, I I was taught to sell the very manipulative way.
Yeah, me
Do
too.
some small talk, give your pitch, overcome objections, and close, close, close. And when I was going through my doctoral program, I actually got a position at Georgia State University teaching sales. And that's when I started really looking at, I'm not sure that this technique that I had been taught, and I had been very successful using it.
You did it. You were probably a great student.
A student and salesperson.
Yeah.
But I really questioned those techniques. I felt somewhat embarrassed by them. People, even though I made a sale, people were not swearing by me. They were swearing at me, because it was high
threatening to call the police if you didn't get out.
Yeah, so anyway, I started developing this non-manipulative approach, which was really based around prescription before diagnosis is malpractice. And when I say prescription before diagnosis is malpractice, it was you need to understand the buyer's needs from the buyer's point of view before you present a solution, and you need to understand the buyer's style before you get into your presentation, because you need to adjust your selling style to adapt to the customer's buying style. And that was the styles. The other part was really a needs analysis prior to presenting solutions. And after I got my PhD, I came out to California, San Diego, became a full-time professor at the University of San Diego, teaching marketing and sales, and left the university in December of '78 to strike out on my own and really see if I could make it as a full-time professional speaker, which from January of '79, which the book came out, Non-Manipulative Selling, Building Sales Through Trust.
Yes.
All right. That selling was problem solving, not persuading. It was needs analysis, not shoving something down somebody's throat. It was more consultative approach. So when I left and started going out and speaking full time for probably, let's see, 79, 89, 99, 09. So that's what, 30 years. I averaged at least 100 paid speeches all over the world, talking about sales and this whole concept of non-manipulative selling, which eventually I retitled to collaborative selling. But as I was giving those talks, more and more people would say, hey, that little segment that you had on the 4 styles, would you just do a talk on that? And little by little, I started speaking more and more on what I called relationship strategies, or the platinum rule. The platinum rule is do unto others as they would have you do unto them, as you mentioned earlier. So that's kind of where this all led. And because I was speaking so frequently and traveling so much, I decided in 2000 to spin off, yep, that's it, to spin off my speaking business into another business called speakersoffice.com. And the person who I turned that business over to was my VP of marketing as a speaker. And she took on me and Jim Cathcart, Rick Barrera, Nito Kubain. Now she has Brene Brown, and my God, she's doing incredibly well. Holly Catchpole.
No, hold on, Tony. You can't mention Jim without me putting that one up.
Yeah.
You guys are good friends, aren't you?
Way back. Jim and I became business partners in 1979. He moved from Tulsa to San Diego in '81. It was either me moving from San Diego to Tulsa or him Tulsa to San Diego, and it was a pretty obvious decision. So yes, we have been business partners. We're not business partners anymore, but best friends. He's now in Austin, Texas. But in 2000, I decided to spin the business off and start doing less speaking, but build this assessment business. And why the assessment business, Jay? From 1974 to 1976, I was in the assessment business, but it was paper-based. In 96, I put the Platinum Rule assessment online. It won numerous awards. It won an award USA Today. It won a Webby Award. About 10,000 people a month were taking the online Platinum Rule assessment. And it took me 4 years, Jay, for the blinding flash of obvious to say, you know what, because I was letting people take it for free, that maybe this could be a business. So in 2000, I decided to build this business. Today it's assessments24x7.com. I, as a marketing person, I believe in the marketing concept, which is basically instead of creating a product and going out looking for customers, basically going out to customers, finding out what they need, and then creating that product. And so eventually, I started moving away from my Platinum Rule assessment to the DISC assessment because it was so much more widely known and widely used. And today we do millions of assessments. Our biggest customers are Tony Robbins and Grant Cardone, Brian Tracy. I can go on and on. Ken Blanchard. These are the people that, plus many corporate businesses. I won't get into the corporate businesses.
And these are truths that have transcended all time. And I remember years ago doing some work with you, and as a result of all this, that had to do with the 4 quadrants is like timeless. People recognize that there was something special, but what you've done is you've made it something that ordinary people like me and the folks listening right now can use. And we've got, speaking of folks listening, let's see, we've got some people here I want to say hi to. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Georgie says, I have that book, Jay, and I'm still learning from it.
Thank you, Georgie.
Yeah. And let's see. Mario says, P.S. I also love your literary masterpieces, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mario.
And see, Tom says, Tom again, door-to-door sales builds grit. Amen.
You better believe it. You better believe it, because there's a lot of no's in there. Amen. A lot of no's.
Mario said, we train our entire organization via the Herfey effect equals relationship management.
Yeah.
So that's so much what it's all about. And he says, we treat our clients the way we like to be treated. Okay. And what we're doing is that's a golden rule type of expression there, Mario. And the thing that I challenge you to do is take a look at treat your customers the way they want to be treated. It's a different paradigm, and think through it. And that's going to lead me to the next thing, Tony. How do we now, in the next 10 minutes, you're one of the few people in the world that's ever gotten more than 35 minutes out of my show, but we're going to stay with this because this is the nuts and bolts of it. Teach my people, and if I need to put up one of those graphics to do it or whatever, you just tell me what to do. Just the basics of sizing someone up and using and the principle behind it, understanding that they're not going to necessarily become an expert at it today, but they'll see the idea and understand how they've done it naturally for certain types of styles. They can do it now and capture everybody and get the love and relationship with just about everybody using this methodology. So tell people how that works, please.
All right. So when you go into a sales call, and I still do sales calls. So when you go into a sales call, you want to find out 2 things: their needs and their style. So you open up with a broad, open-ended question. The open-ended question, you come up with your own, but it could be, tell me a little bit about your business. Tell me a little bit about how your business is going in today's difficult economy. Tell me a little bit about some of the issues your customers are experiencing today. Something broad and open, because as you want the person to elaborate, because as the person is elaborating with their answer, you are studying if there's any particular needs or problems or opportunities that you can build your solution around. and you want to find out their style. So, Jay, you know that when it comes to the style, you want to make two decisions about people. Decision number one, and I say number one, I have to pick something number one. It doesn't have to be this one, number one. So it's one or two. But one decision is the person, based on what I'm seeing and hearing, is the person coming across more open or guarded? Number two, based on what I'm seeing and hearing, is the person coming across more direct or indirect? Now, open and guarded, they play the cards close to the vest. They're hard to read. You sometimes have to pull answers out of them. They don't contribute as much freely. Open people readily and willingly show and share their feelings and thoughts, whether you want to know them or not. Sometimes you have to, when you ask a question, you have to corral them back in. Because
you can see there's the platinum grid using those words.
Now, direct and indirect is a measure of pace. So direct people faster paced, indirect people slower paced, open people more task oriented. Excuse me, guarded people more task oriented, open people more relationship oriented. So I'm looking for two things. Is the person that I am now asking these open-ended questions, are they coming across more direct and guarded? And if so, they are the D style, the dominant director style. If they're coming across more direct but open, I'm dealing with an I style, the more interactive, influential, persuasive style. If the person's coming across more indirect and open, I'm dealing with an S style, the steady style, the more relator, the more amiable style. And again, if I'm dealing with somebody who is indirect, which again is slower paced, but yet guarded, I'm dealing with the C style, which is the conscientious, thinker, analytical pattern. Once I know somebody's style by making those two decisions, open or guarded, direct or indirect, then I can start honing in on how to adapt my approach. And the approach can be the kinds of questions that I ask. It can be how quickly I get into the presentation. For instance, with a D style, the dominant direct style, you want to do your questions and some presentation together, because if you're asking too many questions, they're going to get impatient and bored. With the I style, as long as I'm asking questions and it's personal about them or their business or their customers, they'll go on and on. The C style, I've got to be very precise. I've got to be prepared. For the D and the C, the conscientious analytical style, I need to go in prepared. I need to have done my homework. I need to exhibit that I know who they are, what they do, and what I'm talking about. The S style, I have to build trust and credibility before I build business with them. So once I know somebody's
we don't just drive in and close?
No, not at all. So it's, but for instance, with the D style, I want to give them a couple of options with a brief supporting analysis and let them make the decision. Whereas with the S style, I may have to guide them a little bit more assumptive, but only after I've built some trust and camaraderie with them. Otherwise, they might not trust me. If I come across too salesy, too glib in the way I talk, it will create distrust with the C style. With the I style, I want to look for commonality. I want to look for testimonials, from maybe people they know or like or respect. So, there's a lot of interesting little things that you can adjust. And, again, in just a few minutes, Jay, we can't get into all the details. It would be great if somebody, I think if you go online and you could either go to YouTube, my YouTube channel, which is YouTube /Tony Alessandra, youtube.com/Tony Alessandra, or go into one of my websites, which you put up, assessments2forex7.com, or Alessandra, my last name, Alessandra.com.
There you go.
And you will find a lot of information about the concepts that we're talking about, more in depth. And Jay, you have such a great following, a lot of great people. If people want to go directly to you and want some information, you know what? I'm going to send you a link where people can learn more about DISC and how to use it. I call it my DISC. It's sort of like virtual training, or my DISC communication coach. That would really be the interesting one, the DISC communication coach. Let me see what I have. See if I can give you the URL for that. Yeah, it's assessments2forex7.com, just like you had on there, /communication-coach, all lowercase. So if you do that,
/ what?
/ lowercase communication-coach. Jay, this is incredible. Why don't you, could you pull that up? Because it really is unbelievable.
We're going to do it right now.
Now, I usually charge money for this, but because we're on with Jay Skinner, my good buddy here, you're getting this free. Thank you, Jay. So can you pull that up on the screen? Let's see what it looks like.
And I'll call it up. I'll put it on the screen here. One of the things that I want everybody to know is that this is the foundational and good stuff, but in order to get good at it, practice. And you can get a hold of me if you want to know, how did I get to the point where I can walk into a room and in a minute and a half pretty much size up who I'm talking to and know how to talk to them with good manners and in a way that they're going to feel comfortable, so we can get on with business and I don't have to like spend 25 minutes talking about pictures on their wall.
Exactly.
That's the beauty of it. Okay, so we're going to do share screen.
Share your screen.
And here we go. And I do like
then
that.
Let me comment on this when you pull it up there, Jay.
Okay,
so that people know how to use it.
Bam, like that. There we go. Pull that back. Hey, are we looking at the screen yet? Let's see what we got here. Do you see a screen there?
I don't see a screen yet.
Well, it's working on it. Look at that. Nope. I want to go back to, there it is. It's coming in now. There we go.
There we go. So scroll down just a little here, just a little. And so it asks you a question. Do you know the person's style? And you don't have to click on this yet. If you put yes, it's going to ask you, is the person a D, I, S, or C? But if you click no, so click no, and let's see what happens. It's going to ask you those two questions, Jay. So scroll so we can see more of that. It's going to ask you, is the person more direct or indirect? And you click on one of those. So click on one, either one, it doesn't matter. And then it's going to ask you, is the person more open or guarded? Pick one of them. And it has adjectives to help you pick. Now it tells you picked a D style, the dominant style. Now it's going to ask you, how do you want to deal with this person? So there's some general information about them. And here's selling. So let's go to the selling area, and let's look at connecting. Just press on connecting. And what you will see is I'll come on and I'll give maybe a 1 or 2 minute, you don't have to click on that, but I'll give a 1 or 2 minute little presentation about what to look for, but it gives you very specific suggestions on how to deal with a D style when you're simply initially connecting with them. And there's something like this for all aspects of the selling process: connecting, exploring their needs, presenting solutions, confirming or closing the sale, assuring customer satisfaction, how to give gifts. Hey, Jay, let's go back. Let's go back one. Let's see if we can go back. Close, yeah. So click on the gifting ideas and leaving voicemails. I mean, it's incredible.
There's gifting ideas, good.
Yeah, so it tells you for a D, what kind of, if you're gonna give them a gift, what do they like? So anything that is practical, that saves them time, that's electronic, they love, okay? So, and let's go back again, Jay. I want to just show that if our listeners manage or lead other people, there's a whole array of things that you can learn about motivating, complimenting, correcting, delegating, developing, etc. And even scroll down more in social settings with friends and family. It tells you things that you could do or should not do. So uh, this is something that took me a long time to develop, Jay. Uh,
Yes.
it is a great tool. People can use it over and over and over again. And it's my gift to your listeners, Jay. If you
Thank you.
wanted them to have really practical, simple ideas that make a difference in their life, in their sales, in their
Mhm.
marriage, uh, in their leadership, that's it. So go to this communication coach. You will love it.
Yes. Thank you very much, Tony. That is awesome. And we have a lot of people that have made some comments here. Let's see um, who's talking to us. I want to catch here. Um, let's see. There we go. We train. I'm gonna go back to where we stopped, and Mario was commenting about the platinum rule idea, and then let's see what else we got. The croc brain. And then Sharon, this is my niece. She has an online business, Tony, and she has been online for her business consecutively for 1,008 days without missing
Wow.
a single day. It includes
Congratulations, Sharon.
Christmas and everything. And I'm so proud of her. That's the SharonHoffmeister.com. And Sharon, I'm proud of you. So glad about this. Let's see what else we got. Here's Tony Kirby's. Like I said, he's in Turkey right now. Says always focus what is your customer's problem and how do you solve them. Never advertise product to initiate relationship. Once you initiate reliable dialogue, then you go on what product to solve their problem, which you can suggest.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
You get a big amen from us on that one. Gregory says, how about the difference between persuasion and manipulation and influences? That's a good question because as we get into the depth, the psychology of individuals and dissecting or understanding how people are and then meeting them where they are in order to achieve better rapport, questions like this come up and then it's like, am I being disingenuous? Maybe I'm what you would call a high I, very expressive. But if I'm dealing with a driver or someone that's in another quadrant, I'm going to temper my excitement and how I behave so that I don't blow them out of the water because they go, I can't stand that kind of enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, people
Help us
can't.
understand about that.
Yeah. So people can use it. Anything has positive and negative sides to it. Uh, an example might be in terms of adaptability. Adaptability is your ability to change your approach or your strategy depending on the person or the situation you're dealing with. So here's a manipulation. Now you tell me if this is positive or negative. You smoke. The person that you're calling on, is an avowed non-smoker. So when you go into that person's office on a sales call, even though you want to smoke, you don't because you know how it would negatively impact that person. So
Mhm.
you've manipulated your behavior to improve the relationship. It's positive manipulation. There's negative manipulation, positive manipulation. What we're talking about here in terms of adaptability in the platinum rule is positive manipulation, changing your behavior when you're dealing with other people to improve the relationship, to lessen the interpersonal tension.
Tony, when I teach this to my kids, like my son was on here earlier talking about it. I mean, both of my sons use this to help to know how to behave. We talk about, well, I'm not being myself. That's a great example. It's just good manners to treat people the way that they want to be treated. I talk about if I was going to go meet the queen, I'm a hugger. But if I jumped over that rope and gave her a big hug, is like, besides
Be
them being
arrested.
shackled in jail, they'd say, "Well, that was kinda inappropriate."
Yeah.
You meet the queen in the appropriate way, and it's I'm not being disingenuous. I'm having good manners.
Jay, it's similar to that age-old saying, when in Rome, do as the Romans.
That
That's
is
what this is
right.
all about. That's what the platinum rule is.
It is. Let's see. Mario says Open Claff discusses this exciting process as well.
Great.
Mario, you're having a blast here. I'm so glad you came. Oren, silly text to speech. Oren Claff. Okay. And then let's see what else I got here. Mario wants to have a one-on-one conversation with both of you fine gentlemen. Well, you certainly can. Get a hold of me and we'll make sure that can happen. Amy, thank you. Do we know Amy Lewis?
Yes, we
I
do.
think
Amy Lewis is one
everybody
of
needs an Amy.
yeah, Amy is one of my star employees. She manages all my online social networking, among many, many, many other things. She's in our marketing department. And if I did not have Amy, uh, I don't know. I don't know if you even know me, Jay. You know,
Really? That's real
she's
classic.
my visibility out there. So thank you, Amy.
Yeah, and people don't realize that how much work goes in before a show to get things done. It's a week's worth, at least a week's worth, and in this case, many weeks. And Amy jumps in there and she helps give me all the information I need in order to produce this thing. And she was just awesome. It's like I wish everybody had an Amy. Let's see what else we go. Georgie says, "Thank you, Tony and Jay. You're welcome." Mario says, "Thanks for sharing the link, Amy." And thank you, Amy. And thank you, Dr. Tony. And Mario says, "Yeah, thank you, Jay. Knowledge equals wisdom." And here we are live from Trinidad. Randall Sinanon says, "Good morning, all." Randall, glad you were able to make it. Excellent. So we can practice, we can get good. We've kind of led everybody to the bowl here. And Gregory's saying, "Thanks, Tony." Good,
My pleasure,
Gregory.
Gregory.
Amy, look at there. Amy says, "You're welcome." Thank you, Jay and Tony. You're the best. Now we're wrapping it up, Tony. As you think about what message we want to make sure that we've got here. Oh, look, Tanner, I got to give these turkey guys their due. You just need to build a good bridge between you and your customers by building a good friendship before trade.
Absolutely.
You get it?
Absolutely.
Anyway, what's the final words that you'd like to leave our audience today to encourage them, tell them, here's what you do, here's how you can change your life? I know when I learned this in 1980, 81, and started practicing it, great things happened. What would you like to tell our group before we sign off?
I think many of the people who have been on this session, uh, to a degree, know what we've been talking about, and it's just a matter of continuous education, continuous reading. Uh, if you go onto Amazon.com and put in my name, Tony Alessandra, you'll see some of the books there. If there's something that intrigues you, that you think would take you down a deeper path to learning this concept, feel free to purchase it. But the key is continuous learning. You know that old saying, the more you learn, the more you earn. So, like with Jay, practice, practice, practice. He is a master at this. Another person in my life who is an absolute master at this is one of my co-authors, Scott Zimmerman. Very similar story to yours, Jay. He studied the concept, he mastered the concept, and it's changed his life. It's changed his marriage. Keep in mind that this concept, Jay, I know you focus on selling, but this concept of DISC applies across the board to any relationship. So it's not just sales, it's also management, leadership, it's marriage, it's teaching, it's coaching, it's parenting. It all works. So just make sure if anything that we talked about today intrigued you and you want to know more, dig into it either through Amazon.com or through my website. And I wish you all the very best. Jay, I really appreciate being a guest. I appreciate these extra minutes that you've given us. So
Ha!
tell them that they missed the call today.
Yes, that call is pretty good. Gregory just said this. Let's see. He said he liked it. He said, do the right thing. And then both of you have a map of the world behind you, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And that's interesting you mentioned that, Gregory, because when we were doing our tech pre-show rehearsal, as I noticed our background set up, I thought, are we related? I was Tony and I have even this very similar background and
And it
office
looks
setup.
like the same map too.
I know. It was
It
great.
looks like exactly the same map.
That was great. Okay, well, Tony, thank you so much. This has been great. If people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way for them to do that?
They can email me. So it's DRTONY, Dr. Tony, at assessments24x7.com.
24x7.com.
Or they can even just go to sales at assessments24x7.com. Either one, eventually it will get to me, or get to my sales team.
And Greg said we're in this world together. Thank you, Greg. And I'm putting this up too. I posted that up for us, and I'm going to create this banner here so everybody can see it too. Boom. Is that it? Dr. Tony at assessments24x7.com.
Plural, assessments. So an S at the end of
Got to
it.
fix that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Assessments.
Yeah, because we have many more assessments than just DISC.
And I hit save. Let's put that thing up there now. There we go. Is that right there?
That's perfect. So it's either Dr. Tony at assessments24x7.com or sales at assessments24x7.com if you want to talk to my sales team. So
super. And I just ran that up the posting comments too, and we're in great shape. And thank you again for having me. Back in the green room. Don't eat all the fruit. I'll be back there in a little bit. Thank you again, Dr. Tony Alessandra.
Right. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it.
Bye now. And how about that? A little sentimental journey. 7. That's the time we leave at 7. I'll be waiting up in heaven. See you next week. Thanks for coming. Bye now.